For TTN-HD Production Live, here with Risa Bramon Garcia. What inspired you to get into the business?
Well, I've always been in the business in some way, I think, you know. I mean, I'm not a kid of the business, but ever since I was in high school, I directed the high school play, and I sort of found my tribe in theater, which is how I started. And it's always been something that I've been connected to, that's made sense to me, and that has inspired me to move forward into other arenas, because I've done a lot of different things over time. So I've had sort of this progression but I think it always comes back to being in a community of fellow artists and creating stuff, just creating stuff, whatever that is.
How has your background in theater helped you throughout your career?
Well, theater to me has been my training ground. It's where I learned everything that I know, and sort of where I started figuring out how to create work. So when you work in theater, you really tune your instrument, and I think that's where I did that. I was lucky enough also when I'm from Montreal, and I went to school in Toronto for theater. But when I went to New York, I was lucky enough to get involved with the Ensemble Studio Theater. And that I didn't realize at the time, because it was a very healthy, rich time of artistry for that theater, and I didn't realize how lucky I was to be exposed to such unbelievable writers and actors and fellow directors, so that I was in this community of amazing, talented people, and learned from them and grew with them and started to figure out what I knew and what I didn't know. And then, so, you know, I think anybody and everybody should do as much theater as possible at some point in their lives.
What has been the most rewarding part of your career?
Oh gosh, different things. Probably directing plays. I think has been the most satisfying creatively. I think that casting movies has been the most visibly successful thing that I've done, and also it's allowed me to see the work and see it last. You know, when you direct a play or you work in theater, you know, a lot of it's there, it's over, and that's great. And then it becomes photographs and memories. And of course, not to say that, you know, sometimes actors will say to me, "Oh, I just worked on a play in class, and your name was in the Samuel French book as having been the first director of that play, and I didn't know that, and how great that was." You realize that, you know, when you're part of creating work and helping a writer, a playwright create work, and then it goes into print, and then you really have made a difference, and that's visible. So I think both of those areas, and directing, I directed a couple of films, and so that's been really satisfying. But it changes. I mean, I do so many things, and things change, that I feel like where I'm at is pretty much has to be the most fruitful time, but we'll see.
What do you think about actors transitioning between theater and film? Some people think that it's a completely different skill, but where do you think the relationship is between the two?
Well, I think that people move now from theater, film, and into television and back and forth much more fluidly than they used to. And I think that that's great. The work is different in some ways, but at the end of the day, and I work with actors and teach a lot right now, at the end of the day, the work is still the same. It's still about being truthful, and it's still about being inside the piece. And I think theater, there's definitely a different skill set in being able to repeat that night after night after night. Again, I think film actors should do theater. I think theater actors should do film. Everyone should do a little television. But I think that if you can do all of it and make sure that you do all of it, one really complements and feeds the other.
What's the most challenging aspect of your job and your career so far?
The most challenging aspect? Probably, it's very personal. It's not so much, you know, like, oh, finding this or the right actor for this or that. It's really about being able to communicate to people that wearing the different hats that I wear actually complements each other.
Mm-hmm.
That when I'm a director, the fact that I've done so much casting and teaching and producing really helps that. And when I'm casting, the fact that I'm a director really helps me work with actors and really understand the big picture of things. And then I sort of, interestingly, people say to me, especially people who I've trained, that I have a producer's mind when I cast, and not everybody who does. I mean, everybody brings their own vision or skill to it. But I think it's challenging sometimes because people don't know what to do with things.
Yeah, so do you find that they're trying to slot you in somewhere and be like, oh, you're this or you're that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that we try to do that a lot with talent. You know, we say, oh, you're a comedy actor.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very hard for people to expand their minds and say, oh, you're talented, you can do other things. But I think I'm equally good at many different things. I'm a wonderful casting director, and I'm a wonderful teacher, and I'm a wonderful director. Depends on what it is. I mean, I think it also has to do with understanding where your strengths are in terms of genre, or in terms of your own particular, where your passion lies, where your taste lies, where you feel like a kinship to the work. Yeah. You know, like I wouldn't be a great action director. You know, it just, and weirdly enough, I've directed a lot of comedy, and I think that in the theater, when I directed more, I haven't directed theater in a while and I miss it, and I need to do more of it. But when I directed theater more in New York, I was doing gritty, people would say kitchen sink kind of stuff. Sometimes it was a little absurdist, but it was always very relationship, character-based, family drama with humor. Okay. Right? And so I did some comedy as well. And I did a lot of comedy, but it was always, you know, that's where I really felt connected to the work. And then I started doing film and television, and it became something else. So I think you have to really know where your heart is and work within that, and then play beyond that. So,
what advice would you give to someone who wants to follow in your footsteps?
Oh, I'd say don't follow my footsteps. Follow your own footsteps. Create your own path. I would say, first of all, to follow your passion and your heart, and really stay true to that and not give up on that. I would also say train. You know, whether you're an actor or director, and just do it. Just get out there and do it. Don't wait for someone to tell you that's who you are and to call you in and identify that. Find a way to do it, and good work will speak for itself, and people will find you. And, you know, do lots of theater, do series on the internet, create your own work. I mean, now you can do so much by yourself. It's unbelievable. I mean, all young actors and writers and directors and whoever you are, you cannot sit around waiting for somebody to call you and tell you that you have a job or an audition or, you know, a meeting. You've got to create your own work. Everything I've done, I think, that has been successful in my life has come from something I have created or initiated myself. So I would say do that, and train and write. People should write their own material. Actors, directors, whoever they are. And I would also say make sure your life is full beyond this. Have a full life, because you can't rely on this to feed your soul, to feed your heart, to feed your time, your body. You've got to have a full life. And look, I mean, you do it. You've created this for yourself, right?
Trying to.
But no, that's significant. I mean, you've identified yourself and you've put yourself out there, and people respond to that. So it takes time. It doesn't happen instantly, as you know. And be patient with it. We're in for the long haul. Yeah. You know, it doesn't always. I mean, yes, people sometimes have these magical instant things, but it's not usual. Usually, and you see that now in people's careers, where people are sort of being discovered at age 50 or 60, and you know, they've been around a long time. They've put in the time. They put in the work. So
farming, not hunting.
Yeah, absolutely, and really enjoying that part of the journey, you know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so very much. This was wonderful, and best of luck with all your upcoming projects. Is there a good place online to find more about you?
Yeah, I have a website, which is sort of my destination for where all my hats are hung, and it's risabg.com. And and I'm building that site, especially so that it is a destination for people. And I'm doing a lot of writing and blogging, and I'm writing a book, a how-to book with some anecdotal stuff. It'll make it entertaining. And I'm teaching a lot, which I'm loving.
Good.
So, yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck with all of your upcoming projects.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for TTN-HD Production Live.